Hello, my name's Simon, this is Better Creating, and if you're watching this video, thank you very much. I appreciate you because this is the very first video, number one, on this channel ever posted. Very scary for me, but exciting for the channel. Better Creating, it's all about creating better content and hopefully living more intentional, stress-free lives in the process. If that sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing and turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And also please share this with a friend. Help me get this new channel out there and build a bit of a community. So if you are a freelance creative, an artist, or just interested in creating your own content, this channel is for you. I'll be exploring approaches to productivity, creativity, solo mobile filmmaking, and the challenges of being a freelancer. So stick around, more on all of that coming up in this video. So with this first video, I am slightly embracing the fact that it's going to be a little bit of me, probably talking about me, but it's got a bit of a vlog going on. Let's get on with this video, talking a little bit about the thinking behind creating a YouTube channel. I've got 3 reasons that this channel has come into existence. Titles. I made them on LumaFusion. We should probably talk about that another time. Why are we here? What's this all about? Why am I creating a channel in 2020? So I've worked as a freelancer in theatre, as a director and a movement director, and creating content, a little bit of work with cameras. And I've been doing that since 2006. So that was the year that YouTube started. And recently I've been taking some time to reflect a little bit on how I approach my creative work, how I can be more creative, and how I can live a little bit more intentionally in the process of being a freelancer in the creative arts. And that's been quite helpful. I've been watching YouTube videos and learning a load of great productivity tips and tips around kind of how to approach your freelance lifestyle. And it's been quite good. It's been making my life a little bit better. And so as I've been doing it, I've been documenting it using one of these. It's a phone, if you want to know. And I thought, well, why not try sharing that with some other people? And here we are. 2 months in, I've been planning. Well, I've been calling it planning, but if I'm honest, what I've really been doing is hesitating. Classic. If you've worked in the arts or as a freelancer at all, like me, you'll know and recognise the challenges that come with that. The fear of failure, the anxiety and suspense around how we deal with the unknown or starting out in a new job or profession. And it comes with real emotional highs and lows. That is the reality of a career in the creative industries. It can be glorious. Some of the most amazing moments in my life have involved making work. It can also be brutal and exhausting and filled with doubt and all of that. I worked out when I started this, I just need to take my own advice that I've been giving to young theatre makers and artists, teaching and helping people come up. It's just start creating now. Start now, just do it. It doesn't matter, it can be messy. And you know what? That is harder than it sounds, I think, a lot of the time, but that's what I'm trying to do. I think when it comes to creating work, like ready, the idea of like, I need to be ready, it's a myth. It's a myth that we tell ourselves will turn up. It's a lie. It's just a way of saying you're a perfectionist is kind of an excuse for paralysis. And yeah, you've got to hold high standards, but just start. Stop pondering and start posting. As Sean Cannell says on Think Media, which by the way is a fantastic channel if you're looking at starting a YouTube channel, starting to kind of blog or post like I am here. As he says, you just got to start, poop your pants scared. And that is exactly what I'm doing now. So yeah, here we are doing it. Yeah, there we go, I've started. Here are my 3 goals for this channel and why I'm choosing to pursue them. Live and work more intentionally. A couple of years ago, I directed a play in London called Distance. It was about the struggle of a character dealing with depression and being unable to connect with others to find a way to overcome that distance and isolation that they felt. And creating that show, as is often the case, echoed some really tough experiences in my own life, but making that show was also a really cathartic and positive experience. I'd been dealing with some really similar feelings in the year or so before the writer approached me about that play as to what the play was actually about. Researching and the process of collaborating on the piece really enabled me to come back out the other end of those issues and to make some proper changes in my life. This play in itself was a process of creating work and thinking about what that work is saying about how we live our lives. Over the last few months, I've had the time and space to reflect and look again at how I do things. I've found some amazing creators sharing ideas on YouTube that have really helped me do this. But at the same time, this channel isn't simply about making better stuff, going further. This hustle culture we are so seduced by, it's actually about asking, how can I create work in a more intentional way? How can I make space? How can we make space for creativity and the rest of our lives so we don't just let that fly past us? Probably along with drinking a little bit too much beer and definitely too much coffee, one thing that has come out of this period of time has been some proper habit change. And that's been from decluttering and minimizing to taking up yoga or building my own productivity system from scratch in Notion. And do look out for a video, by the way, on Notion. I think it's a properly life-changing system if you can learn how to use it. And I think it's really accessible and brilliant. So I'm definitely going to be sharing some guides on doing that soon. So I've been essentially intensively learning again. We're always learning, but I've totally been doing more of it. Finding new ideas and approaches about how to create work, how to be more productive and stress-free, and ways of refocusing my approach to freelance life in general. Goal number 2, simplify. This channel might be a response to this conversation that I found myself having with people all the time. You say, how are things? How are you? How are you doing at the moment? And they'll say, oh, I'm really good. I'm super busy. I'm just so busy. It's like it's a badge we have to wear. You know, this idea of being busy, hustle culture, constantly working. It's exhausting. This idea that being busy is how a successful creative person should be, it can be problematic. It's essentially the modern equivalent of keeping up with the Joneses, posting what you're doing, how your work is going, the success that you're having. Well, that's just not the case. That mode of living can stifle our creativity. I think it can stunt how productive we are actually being, let alone how happily we're living our lives. We can burden ourselves with commitments that stretch us so thin that our activities actually lose all of their values. Better creating is about finding what, with perspective, is really important and what is really vital. I really recommend checking out Greg McKeown on this, on his book Essentialism, and he's also got some amazing stuff out there on the internet. And he says, the trivial many versus the essential few. It's about asking the right questions about how we are spending our time and our energy. So that's number 2, simplifying things. Maybe this channel can be all about simplifying, decluttering our lives, making space for proper creativity. It's a side hustle for me. I'm going to get on with the rest of my work, but right now it's something I really want to do, and I think it's something I really have to do. And that's always the case, I think. It should be the case if you're going to create something. You have the need to make it. Goal number 3, creating better content. This is a place to give you a toolkit for better creative freelancing. Whatever your discipline, we're going to collect tips and tools and tutorials on working in a better way. Learn new skills, think about new ways of working, ideas around productivity and organising your workflow to kind of supercharge your work and get things done in an easier manner. So better storytelling and how to tell good stories. One particular area we're going to focus on, I think, is kind of solo mobile filmmaking and using programs like LumaFusion to create work and kind of as professional video as you can create using mobile devices. And I'm also planning to be talking to creatives and amazing artists and people that work in loads of different areas of the creative arts, from filmmakers to actors, content creators, writers, to help us kind of think a little bit about how they got to where they got to, the journey they took, and the lessons that they've learned. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I can see you in the next video. I'm going to try and up my game as I go, and hopefully that can help you do the same. If you've hung around this long, I really appreciate it. Very impressive. Definitely hit that subscribe button and check out bettercreating.com for a little bit more content and thought around what we're doing here. Do put a comment below, and in the spirit of that, I'm working this out. This is my first video. I would love to hear your thoughts and feedback, or just a little bit of friendly support to keep me going with all of this work. Until next time, look after yourself, spend some time away from your screen, and whatever happens,